The government of the Virgin Islands remains committed to building modern infrastructural systems in the territory. This includes providing efficient sewage networks to improve the sewage problems that plague the territory for many years through the National Sewage Program. Reporting for the Department of Information and Public Relations and the Ministry of Communication and Works, I'm your host for today's program, Information Officer Shree Smith. Joining me is Project Manager for the National Sewage Program, Mr. Samuel McIntosh. Mr. McIntosh, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
What is the National Sewage Program and its primary benefits?
This is a program that was initiated by the government to address the sewage collection, treatment, and disposal needs of the territory. It started off with a master plan which came up with ideas, different programs or sub-projects that would achieve that goal, which is ultimately as many of the territory as possible will have state-of-the-art, up-to-date sewage system. There has been a concern over the years of some areas within the territory where, because of lack of proper sewage system, there are incidents of sewage flowing on the streets, similar situations like that. So the National Sewage Project was initiated to address those issues. We will be looking at not just initially Tortola and several areas in Tortola, but it will be territory-wide eventually, ultimately.
We see that there's a lot of activity going on in the Roetown area in the vicinity of the roundabout. Can you tell us exactly what's happening? That's
part of the National Sewage Project. We are doing some work in Roetown. We're also doing some work in East End. This is one of the many projects that are coming up, and this primarily will address the problems in Roetown. We are laying new collection system, new pipelines, bigger pipes that should take us up to at least 30 years in the future. We are addressing the pump stations. There's been problems with the existing pump stations that have been having problems over the years. The pipelines, some of them are in bad shape and leaking. What we're looking at is one segment of that pipeline replacement project for the Roetown area. After that, we will be continuing looking at replacing the main pump station, installing new pressure pipes to take the sewage from the pump station to a new treatment plant. We should be starting within the next few months. The treatment plant will be located on Bird Point. And when that's completed, for the first time, the sewage generated in Roetown will be treated before it is discharged into the sea.
So you mentioned works on the first phase. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me how long that works is expected to last?
The work that you're looking at, we are expecting to finish certainly by mid-July. It will be in different segments. What you're looking at right now is the first of 3 segments in the roundabout area. So that should be completed over the next day or two. So we should then immediately move to the next opposite side of the roundabout to install similar pipes, and then that should take another couple of weeks. And ultimately, that immediate project should take us up to the Custer Street, close to, I think, Bobby's. Mm-hmm. All of those pipes will be replaced by new and bigger pipes to take the sewage into the central pump station at Roetown.
Oh, so this project will be completed over the course of the next few weeks, just in time for the 6th-year emancipation celebration?
Yes, we should be out of there by mid-July.
Okay, nice. You spoke about the initial walk. So what is going to happen after the festival season?
In Roetown, after the festival, there is a project that was recently awarded to one of the main contractors in Road Town to install approximately 1,600 feet of major gravity pipes from the pump station at the roundabout, heading west and up to Nib Street. We will connect to an existing collection system. So at that point, presently most of the system involves a few pump stations, and sometimes these pump stations create problems. When we are finished, those pump stations will be gone, and what you'll have is a complete gravity system without any intermediate pump stations, which is how the system was initially designed to function. So it will be back to its normal function, and it will be adequate to take us up to at least another 30 years.
30 years, nice. So the ministry recently put out a bulletin called Exercising Cautions for Motorists and Pedestrians in the Vicinity. What is your project team doing to ensure that safety is a priority on these construction sites?
Yeah, the ministry takes safety very seriously. We are working with several different departments. For example, we are working, our special projects unit is working with the Public Works Department. We're collaborating with the Police Traffic Department and making sure that the proper signage are in place, the proper safety barriers are in place to secure the work site, to prevent curious onlookers to walk in and expose themselves to danger. We are enforcing basic safety requirements to the workers, the work teams, the equipment operators, and so on, to make sure we have a safe project.
Okay. Well, now that we have a better understanding of what you guys do with regards to safety, how are you managing the traffic? You spoke about working with the police.
Yeah, we collaborate with the Police Traffic Department, the Public Works, to make sure we have adequate signage, that the road is cordoned off properly to not only create a safe environment for the workers, but also to minimize the disruption to the traffic. We know there will be some disruption, but we try to do it in such a manner that the disruption will be as not as impactful as it could be. So we are doing our best under the circumstances, I think, to ensure not just safety, but to keep traffic flowing while the work is going on. It's major construction work, a lot of heavy equipment moving around. So I'm hoping that the general public will exercise some patience with us while we try to get this project done.
Okay, and the work that is expected to commence after the Emancipation celebrations, when would that work be completed?
That project, like I said, should start immediately after the August Festival, and it is contractually expected to be completed within 10 weeks.
Okay.
Right, so we're looking at mid-August by mid-July, end of July. I mean, September or early October.
Okay, nice. And that is in line with the tourist season.
Right.
We know we're expanding the cruise pay and we're expecting a lot of visitors to be traversing our streets. So we just want to make sure that the works will be done prior to.
Right. We will, our primary objective is particularly in regards to the general public, the motoring public, the business community, is to minimize the disruption as much as possible and have the work completed in the shortest possible time while maintaining safety.
Okay. Now that we have a better understanding of the works that's going on in Road Town, can we talk a little bit more about what's happening in East End? We see that preliminary works has begun. Can you tell us what has happened thus far?
Well, let me start by just giving a quick synopsis of what the overall East End project involves, which is the collection system extends from Chapel Hill down to Fat Ox Bay. In other words, all communities in between those areas will be sewered, will be connected to the public sewer. What we have done so far is we have installed the smaller pipes along the small neighborhood streets in areas like Parham Town, James Young, Chapel Hill, And now what we're going to be doing is installing what we call the transmission lines. These are bigger pipes that will be taking all of the sewage from all these neighborhood streets. That will be taken to a main pump station in East End, and that will then be pumped through a special pipe which we refer to as a force main down to a treatment plant which will be located in Parkita Bay. Upon treatment, the treated effluent will then be sent down through pipes along the roadway again down to the Brandywine Bay. At that point, we will extend the pipeline out into the ocean at least 700 meters, which is a little over 2,000 feet, to be discharged. What we are going to be doing starting in next week, actually, on Tuesday, is one segment of that transmission line along Blackburn Highway. We will start at Chapel Hill and end down by the entrance to Parham Town. That will start on next week, Tuesday, and we are expecting that to be completed in perhaps 6 weeks after we start next week.
Okay. And again, the Blackburn Highway area is a very heavily traversed area. It's the main roadway that takes you to the airport. What has your team put in place with regards to traffic management?
Again, we consulted with the police traffic department, the public works. We're working along with those agencies. We already come up with a traffic diversion, traffic control plan, which will involve, because of the nature of the work, we'll be going down literally the middle of the street. There are other utilities on either side of the roadway, so we're going on the middle of the street. There are some areas where if the road is wide enough and depending on the actual activity that we are doing in any particular time, we will try to at least have one lane open. But we anticipate that there will be instances where the entire road will have to be closed for the traffic safety primarily. And in that case, the traffic plan will involve actual personnel posted at strategic points to direct traffic to alternate routes. One of the alternate routes will be up through Stamasland down through Parham Town. Another one would be through the Ridge Road. And we realize that these diversions will be very inconvenient because they take people way outside of their normal traveling routes, but it's necessary. And again, we'll try to expedite the work as quickly as possible. One of the things we are doing is to start the work, at least give people time to leave in the mornings and go to work. And so we're looking at starting maybe after 9 o'clock and be completed by 5. So at least the peak traffic will not be too disturbed. And again, we will have personnel manning the strategic points along the way to assist motorists who are probably not familiar with the routes, to give them some guidance and make sure that they traverse smoothly.
Okay, excellent. So can you speak a little bit about more of the overall scope of works for the eastern area?
We'll be installing transmission lines along Blackburn Highway between Chapel Hill and Fat Ox Bay. These are the larger pipes which all the other pipes will tie into. We'll be installing a series of pump stations, I think 3 so far, in Parham Town, James Young, and Long Swamp. And the one in Long Swamp will be the major pump station, which will now be taking all the sewage from East End and pump it to Parkita Bay. So the pipeline is going to also be installed from East End all the way down to Parkita Bay. The treatment plant will be built. We'll connect that, take the sewage to the treatment plant. The effluent from the treatment plant will then be pumped through another line down to Brandywine Bay. It will also run along the roadway and then discharge into the ocean. So the elements of the overall project that we already have identified would be pipelines, transmission lines, pump stations, and the treatment plant.
Okay, you mentioned that the sewage will be pumped out through Brandywine Bay. Would that have any environmental impact?
We don't expect that it will. First of all, the sewage will be treated to international standard, which takes into account any environmental potential for environmental impact. It will be treated and it will be carefully discharged sufficiently far away from the shore, from the beach line. And environmental studies have been done, at least preliminary studies have been done. We are still, as we speak, as part of our ongoing design process, looking at continuing to look at environmental potential impact and coming up with ways to mitigate anything that could go wrong. The system typically is designed and constructed with it various safeguards, because we do know that things happen. I mean, equipments have been known to fail, but we have implemented, part of the design is to make sure that if those things happen, they will be addressed. Things are put in place in the design, in the construction, to mitigate those things from happening.
Okay. Mr. McIntosh, now that we have a better understanding of the National Sewage Program, what can the territory expect next year with regards to the improvement of our sewage network?
By early next year, we are expecting that all the major elements will be in, all the pipelines, transmission lines will be in along Blackburn Highway, the treatment plants will be finished, the discharge lines will be completed, and there will be a functioning system. At that point, I would say by starting early next year, we will be in a position to start connecting the different homes. Because as you know, quite a bit of the area has already been sewered. The pipes have been installed up to the property lines. So there will be an exercise starting early next year to connect all the houses, the business places along the way to the sewage system. So by mid next year, we should be, if not completed, far away into completing the entire project, and there should be no more sewage on the streets. The smell should be gone, and we can all take a nice deep breath, hopefully, by the middle of next year.
Nice. No more sewage on the streets, and the smell will be gone.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this program, is there anything else that you would like to add?
It's very important that the citizens, particularly the motoring public, exercise some patience with us. We will do everything we can to minimize the disruption, but some disruptions are inevitable. We will try to finish the work as quickly as possible, and hopefully we will be completed and we will all be happy at the end of the day.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. McIntosh, for joining me.
Thank you.
In an effort to ensure public safety, the ministry hereby requests that the public adhere to all road and traffic signals and exercise extreme caution when traversing these areas. The ministry apologizes for any inconveniences caused. For updates on the National Sewage Program, follow the Government of the Virgin Islands on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at BVI Government. Or visit our website at www.bvi.gov.bg.